Okay, we're going to look at something called the Faro shuffle, F-A-R-O. And this is the shuffle that many people associate with what's called a perfect shuffle. I'm not going to accomplish a perfect shuffle, or at least I'm not going to necessarily try to here. I'm just demonstrating the Faro shuffle itself. Okay, so what you do is you cut it about in half. So I'm just estimating. And then you just have to get the corners to interlace. And so what you do is you put a little bit of pressure and then you bring them up corner to corner. And they will actually naturally want to interweave. Now it is helpful to use a brand new deck. Some people find that hard because the quote corners haven't been rounded off. Ooh, that was a terrible one. Let's do a better one than that. But I find it easier actually just to use a brand new deck. Okay, so let's see if we can do a little better job than what I just did there. Okay, a little better. It's not a perfect shuffle for sure. Okay, so this is a very efficient way of mixing cards. And if you're willing to do like a take out the middle and then maybe break that up into two halves, that accelerates the true randomization of the cards. Okay, as you can tell, I didn't break it quite in half, which is fine. So if you're just trying to mix them quickly, or if you're trying to add just a little bit of flair to what you're doing, then a Faro shuffle is a wonderful way to go. And in some ways, a little bit of messiness is perhaps best, because any of the more astute participants, they may know to be suspicious of a perfect shuffle. In fact, they may even know that 8 perfect shuffles returns a deck to its original order. Okay, so that's something that can be done. Seems like a lot of shuffles to do in a row to get it back. A lot of work to get it back into original order. But I primarily use it just to mix the cards well. And once again, to add just a little bit of flair to what you're doing. You don't want to, quote, you don't want to show your hand too much relative to your fluency with card manipulation, because to my mind that actually takes from the whole experience, because if you can do these overly amazing things with the cards, the spectator's not likely to be super surprised by the outcome of some routine, because after they watch you do just amazing things with the cards, they're going to go, well, if you can do that, you could probably do anything with those cards. Therefore, I shouldn't be all that surprised if you're able to find my card in the end, or get it in a certain location, right? So I think a little bit of modesty there goes a long way. So you want to show enough proficiency with the cards that people will pay attention. That may actually maybe almost be a perfect shuffle there. But you don't want to be a show-off. Nobody loves a show-off, except maybe the show-off himself, I suppose. So don't be overly cute, with what you do with your card handling. Really, any card handling that I do, it has a functional purpose. Its primary purpose is not to show off or impress. It may be to give it just a little bit of flair, a little bit of fun, but certainly not to overwhelm the spectator with amazing flourishes and card spinning and so forth. So anyway, I think I've done enough of these for you to kind of get a sense of how it's done. So you're getting, so that the way to think about it is, if these cards, let me just grab a couple of them here. If you're wanting these cards to come together, it's going to be easiest to have the corners butted up together, okay? So there will be a tendency for them to want to slide past each other if you are bringing these rounded edges or corners together. And so that's really all you're doing. And if you notice, you give it just maybe a little bit of a kind of a wrist flick, I guess. So here, let me just slow down here. Okay, so right now it's like they're almost just straight on, but then you turn it just a little bit. You just kind of turn it, and it encourages the cards to kind of interweave among themselves. And it is a knacky thing where once you get it, you get it. And it does take just a little bit of practice. But I don't think it's something that will take too long for you to learn. And it is helpful to do what I'm doing here. Do you see how I'm kind of straightening them up? I'm trying to straighten up the edges a little bit so that, you know, when they come together, they're really kind of lined up fairly well. Yeah, that certainly wasn't a perfect shuffle there, which is not really what I'm concerned about accomplishing here. But so butting them up together just to kind of square them off like that is helpful. And then you just bring them together and then kind of go, just pull up the packet on the back, the furthest from you, maintaining the pressure. And maybe I'm trying to think, I probably increase the pressure just a little bit when I do that. You just pull it up and then just kind of push them together. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you look at some of my other card handling videos.